Hi, welcome back to the Spirit's Path. This is Dee, and today's tarot card of the day out of the Wildwood Tarot deck is Ten of Stones, Home. And that's a little bit something different than what we've had in here in the past. So, talking about this card, it's looking out of a doorway. And if you noticed, on the stones in the doorway, you've got a male and female figure. Okay, so... if this is you, or as you're looking at this card and you're looking out of your own home, out across the street to maybe another neighbor's house or something like that, you feel that sense of security, you feel that sense of stability, something that you have where you can seek shelter and sanctuary from the outside elements. And I'm sure a lot of us right now are doing the self-quarantine thing, or working from home, so we don't, end up, getting the virus or passing the virus on or anything like that. So home right now is kind of your workplace, for some people, and home is also where the kids are hanging out because there is no school. All right, and I'm going to tell you a little thought process after we talk about this card. So, for me, home is where the heart is. And, wherever I can, lay my head down on a pillow, that's where home is for the night, whether I'm traveling or whether I'm at home, in my own house, or, possibly in a new house, as I look for opportunities to move closer to my work position. Home is also the community in which you reside in. Okay, it's the neighborhood, it's the neighbors, it's, going down to the local grocer, and seeing the same faces every day, even though you may not have contact with them. All right, you still smile, and they recognize you and you recognize them. I know when I walk into the supermarket, the same lady standing there every day greeting me, and I say hi to her and she says hi to me, and we only see each other once a week. So within that community, if you participate in community events, if you participate in the the local government, things of that nature, that is also where your home is. Okay, I also look at it as home is where you have your friends, your co-workers, and your family. All right, in a house situation, you have your family, but what about your extended family? Aunts, uncles, maybe your parents, maybe your daughter, maybe your son. Okay, where their home is, that is also where your family is. And when you're comfortable with them and you feel stable going out to eat or whatever, let's say you're at a restaurant, and you're having a meal, and your son and your daughter are there. To me, that's home. The family is together, and you're doing things together. Home is home could be with your coworkers, in your office or in your factory or in wherever you're at, maybe out in the field. Okay, it's able to have those conversations and trusting people and knowing that they're there for you. Same thing with your friends. Whether you're out celebrating St. Patty's Day, or you're just sitting home drinking a few mixed drinks or whatever, a few sodas or something like that. That's where you feel comfortable. That's where you feel secure. Any place you feel secure within your relationships, your work, your stability, relationships and work, I already talked about. But anything that you're doing, okay, especially in these times going on right now where there's a lot of panic and paranoia, okay, so you're working from home. There's some security there, okay? You're safe because, maybe you've already sanitized everything in your house, okay? You're not going to catch it, all right? By working from home and maintaining that clean environment, you're protecting yourself, from getting sick. So, I guess the key that I'm trying to make, the point that I'm trying to make here is, what do all three of them have in common? And it's similar to what the stones represent: security, stability, and in this instance, when you're hanging around friends, when you're hanging around family, that's affection. Okay, so when you get that affection going on, with your loved ones, with your children, with your dogs, with your cats, maybe just going out to lunch with your coworkers that you haven't seen for the last week, You know, that's what home is all about. Okay. Now, over the years, I know when I was growing up, my dad worked, and he worked hard for everything that we had. My mom, she didn't, she wanted to work, okay, but it was her job to, help raise a family. Now, she started working as we got older, okay, and some of those families were doing that as I was growing up. The dad worked a full-time job, the mom was going out there and, either working a full-time job or at least a part-time job, and it was to help make things better for the kids. Not necessarily living hand to mouth, okay, but if we have a little extra, we can go on vacation. And that's what it was all about, okay? Nowadays, you see a lot of single families, mom's working, kids going to school, kids are going to daycare, maybe mom works an off shift, the kids are home during the days, maybe there's a dad around doing the same thing, okay, taking care of, his loved ones, okay? In a traditional nuclear family, the mother and the father are out working jobs. The kids would, go to school, but somebody was always home, to take care of them afterwards, whether that was a grandparent or an aunt or, whatever, okay? But the mom and the dad were always out working. And isn't it ironic? You know what? I'm going to save that irony for a little bit here. Okay. So, here you have this nuclear family going up, and home is always a place to go back to. Mom would come home, dad would come home, the children come home from school. Here we are at the end of the day. Let's sit at the dinner table. Put the electronics away. All right. Johnny, do you have your homework done? Okay, let's work on your math. Susie, do you have your homework done? Okay, let's work on your history. All right, dear, how was your work day? How was your work day? Hey, everything was going good. Okay, let's talk about school. Let's talk about, what's going on in the environment. Let's talk about, things as a family. Let's talk about, communicate around the table instead of, everybody off to their own little spot, getting on their electronics and doing Facebook or Twitter or Snapchat or whatever, social media it is. Okay. Everybody comes together when it's home. Even at holidays, people go home to where they were born. Sometimes, maybe to see their parents, grandparents, to spend that time at home. Whenever I go home, which is across the state, okay, I know where everything's at. I got my favorite restaurants. I know, where friends of mine live. I call them up, let them know I'm in town, try to get together, and just enjoy being back home. Even though I have a home, on the other side of the state, and I try to interact within the community, to help out my local farmers, my local grocers, things of that nature. I have my own home with my own family, okay? And there are a lot of people that are out there that are doing the same thing, okay? Home has been with you, if you think about it, your whole life. When you were a kid growing up, until you got to the age where you could leave on your own, home offered you that security. And once you left the house and got a new job in another community or something like that, home was a place you could come back to that offered you that security, that love, that affection. As you become older and you have your own home, you decorate it how you want. You live life how you want in your home. That gives you that security. Maybe you start a family in it. Okay? Maybe people are coming into your home, all right, that are family and saying, wow, what a lovely place you have. That is where home is. And in the end, when your journey is over, you're going home. That's another way of looking at, what home is. At the end of the day, that security, that stability that you have, and you go to wherever it is you go to, heaven, the universe, the divine, to be with those loved ones, that's also home. And you're going to be greeted by your loved ones, and they're going to bring you home when you're ready. Now, I'm not saying, that to scare anybody, but, when your journey's done, your journey's done. Your time to start another one. Okay, and that's kind of what that World Tree talks about, walk through that door. But here's the irony that I want to talk about with this card as it comes up. Because now I get to work from home 60% of the time. You know, I still have to go to the facility, do what I have to do, and then come back and work from home. And isn't it a coincidence that during this virus, children are staying home? Moms or dads have to stay at home to take care of the children. Okay, so somebody's, maybe they were able to work from home and take care of the children. Okay, we are now getting back to that concept of what it was many, many years ago, where we're all home. Let's communicate. And that's going to be hard for some people because there's going to be that barrier of, oh my God, what do we talk about? If everybody can put the electronics down and just have a conversation on what has gone on through the day, play board games, okay, do things around the house, to help out with chores and things of that nature, to have those conversations that are needed, to express your feelings, on what's going on, to keep that social distancing and make it a habit. That way, when you get back out into your school or get back out into your workplace, all right, you're not penetrating somebody's bubble. Okay. We are now going back to that time where we are staying home, taking care of what's happening inside, and hopefully making it a positive experience, learning new things through the computer, okay, that you weren't able to learn before. That maybe, as a student, you have to read this stuff from the books, but what if you did some virtual learning? What if you, got into some videos on YouTube on, learning another culture, okay, and maybe getting in some virtual, learning of, educational processes, opening up your mind to expand, to listen to different philosophies, to listen to different methodologies, to learn something that, hey, if I want to be, a car mechanic, watch everything I can, because now you have the time. You have the time in your own home to grow a skill set that you didn't have time to before. So enjoy the opportunities that you do have, whether you're self-quarantined, okay, or you're working from home. Enjoy the time that you have with your family members. Build those bonds, strengthen those relationships within your own family, and make home exactly that, home. All right, this is D for the Spirit's Path. Leave your comments down below. Hit the subscribe button for me and like this video. And we'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody.